Freezing, a show set in a world where the world we know today has been invaded by an alien race known as the Nova. Normal means appear to be useless against this far more advanced species, and the only hope that humanity can possibly rely on is girls with big fucking titties. Freezing obviously has its priorities set in stone, but the abundance of absolutely outrageous fight scenes and ample fan service deliver exactly what you're looking for. And trust me, I know what you're looking for. Maji D Watashi Nikoi Shinazai, or however you pronounce that, the show that doesn't attempt to be something that it isn't. It has some fantastic over-the-top action, but the main part of the show is its plot! Actually no, I meant the characters. Yeah, the characters, yeah. Its characters are rather generic, but they play the part so well that you can't help but love this delightful show. It's simply difficult to not enjoy it. And with such a weird concept of having wars at school to determine your social status, it surprisingly entrances you with its ridiculous ideas and compels you to love it for what it is. Makan-ki, an action-based supernatural school life series that follows around Takeru, who's just entering into his first year of 10B high school being co-ed. And of course, with a plot such as this show was made to simply focus on the plot. Said plot was mainly introduced with brilliant fight scenes that magically rips apart the girls' clothes, revealing plot that you'll have to extensively research to even understand. Now get out there, fellow scientists, and solve this reoccurring mystery surrounding this bizarre plot. You're our only hope. Ben 2, a show that deserves praise for not straying from its utterly ridiculous concept. This show delivers greatness that other shows can't possibly match by having magnificent over-the-top parody fights that blow away any expectations of boredom. These fights tend to occur over discounted food items, but don't fear this absurd concept, because Ben 2 is one of the most intense and entertaining shows I've had the pleasure of watching, and you should definitely watch it too. Unintended. After the villain is finally defeated, what does the hero do? Where's the hero go? What becomes of the hero? These are questions that are rarely ever answered, but aesthetica of a rogue hero is this entire premise. And now, harem main characters tend to be weak and rather irritating, but this anime introduces a refreshing character by the name of Akatsuki who does whatever he wants by using all of that manly pent-up testosterone. He charges in head first and challenges the plot that is usually ignored by other harem MCs, and it's a wonderful premise that is a breath of fresh air that anyone can easily appreciate. Razio plus Vampire, a more or less typical ecchi harem that's main twist is that it revolves around our wimpy human main protagonist Skune, who ended up at a high school meant for monsters and supernatural creatures. Now, Razio plus Vampire has an abundance of plot, like a lot, excessive amounts of plot. Now, while that isn't particularly a bad thing, it focuses more on that than the interesting concept of attempting to survive in a school of monsters. Even though that disappointed me, the characters are all very addicting. They kept the anime fascinating enough to keep you constantly entertained. Aria the Scarlet Ammo's plot is set in a school that grants special students permission to take up missions and engage in combat using weapons. So you have talented snipers, gunmen, sword masters, and special ability users produced by the school. Our protagonist Kinji, after an unfortunate incident, has decided to quit the combat division and live a normal life when suddenly he gets involved with a killing incident. A girl falls from the sky and activates his Ero super mode. Now with the flat-chested Aria and other friends, they set off on a new course of his life, also known as the Harem route, with tits. Eleven Eyes, an anime that seems rather generic until this group of friends is thrown into an alternate dimension where they must fight through this mysterious phenomenon that they've been forced into. With an ominous atmosphere that worked well with the twisted storyline, it effortlessly manages to keep you guessing and wanting to delve more into the mysterious world that it's so skillfully constructed. Familiar of Zero is an anime that follows around our main character Saito, who was summoned into this unknown magical world to be a girl soon named Familiar. Of course, all the other girls in the academy are attracted to him for no reason, so fan service galore, but putting aside the fan service, the actual romance plot excuse me. The romance was intriguing and actually had the main character pick one of the girls for once, but it lacked much necessary depth, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it from its comical moments to the immensely awesome action sequences and remarkably overdramatic moments. It just appealed to a lot of different interests. Sakan no Quasar is about a Russian exchange student named Sasha who is a quasar. A quasar is a person that can control certain elements, and Sasha can control the element iron. A quasar's source of power is called soma, or in other words, breast milk. Yeah. So how else is he going to power up? By sucking on the boobs of some of his classmates, of course. This anime has an overwhelming amount of boobs and fan service, and those who are not yet ready should not watch it. But if you do think you're ready for the onslaught of etchiness that Sakan no Quasar has, watch the uncensored version. For science. Of course. Science. Science. Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere, an anime that begins in a distant and somewhat bleak future where humanity has ascended into space but were then forced back to Earth after warring past their limits. After coming back to Earth, they find it in a devastated condition, and with such a serious sounding plot, Horizon shocks you by mixing humor, action, and romance together into a setting that you wouldn't expect to work. But it works so tremendously well. It manages to work because it has such an interesting and unique array of characters. And although Horizon isn't very thought-provoking or complex, it is exceptionally entertaining and amusing to watch. So, I Can't Play H is about the usual cliché boy meets fantasy girl story, but while lacking an even somewhat special story, it's still got something that many other shows lack, and that's a great array of characters. The characters all had different ranges of personality that easily drag you through the journey of So I Can't Play H. Also, massive amounts of plot that is very intriguing because, well, plot. Do you really need another reason? C Cubed, an anime that revolves around a boy named Hararaki who one day receives a mysterious black cube from his father. The black cube actually ends up being a girl named Fear and she's cursed. So Hararaki, who's immune to curses, attempts to save this cute, innocent-looking girl. And while the story progresses, the story takes on a much more darker tone, and as everything spirals out of control, you find yourself utterly enticed by the demented C Cubed. Campione is a story where a 16-year-old boy went on an adventure and ended up slaying the god of war in Mortal Kombat, thus became the 7th and youngest Campione, and now he has to stop the evil workings of other troublesome gods alongside with his companions, also known as a motherfucking harem. Campione set itself in a supernatural theme and succeeded in combining different elements along its progression. The plot was superb and gives its viewers a whole new experience. That plot. Sekirai, a battle royale between 108 artificially made life forms known as Sekirai. These Sekirai find their masters, or Ashikabi, and fight to win their wish. Sekirai does a great job of combining a lot of different genres together and making it work extremely well. Sekirai contained enough awesome action and drama that the overall story was good enough to have you watching each episode with anticipation of the next. Zombies, ass, and tits. What more could you ask for? That's like 90% of every nerd's wet dream. It's only 50% of mine, but it's missing something. Something. I can't think of it right now. Regardless, let's move on. With a likable and cliché group of characters and awesome action sequences that keep you highly entertained, High School of the Dead delivers a well-made and fun-to-watch anime. It's incredibly entertaining to watch the group attempt to survive the zombie apocalypse, and also two more things. Amazing character development. Unexpected plot points. Tits. Strike the Blood is about our slightly stupid main character Kojo, the fourth progenitor who has recently become a vampire. He lives on an island near Tokyo where mythical and magical beings can live in peace with humans, and he has only recently obtained these insane powers from the late fourth progenitor. And during the series, he must learn how to master his new destructive powers while being watched over by the Lion King organization's cute Yukina. These two's interactions truly make the show fantastic. Of course, the interactions with the other girl leads is entertaining as well, so adding that all together with the fan service and the supernatural elements makes for a splendid show. Date Alive, a series where our protagonist Shido works to defeat invading space entities by dating them. Hopefully you've realized that this show is a parody from that description alone. While Shido gains the love of these space entities, he quickly develops a harem of diverse personalities and various boob sizes, creating an ensemble of great characters who deliver a different twist to the harem genre and doesn't take itself all that seriously. Just an extremely fun watch. Vengeance. A plot point that is unarguably overused, but Unbreakable Machine Doll manages to expand on the concept much more than many other shows, thanks to the unorthodox pairing of our main characters Raishin and his doll Yaya. While seeking his vengeance, Raishin is owning his skills to become one of the most powerful puppeteers in the world. Astonishingly, the plot is actually overshadowed by Raishin's quest for vengeance, and creates a marvelous story that you don't see very often, and I would recommend not missing out on. A lot of harem and romance anime out there tend to fail at telling an interesting story. The Ambition of Oda Nobunaga has superb storytelling. It's based on real historical events that happened in the Sengoku era, where various famous historical figures were switched into girls. Our protagonist somehow traveled to this time and uses his knowledge of the time period to help the Oda clan unite Japan, resulting in a fantastic anime. The basic premise of Samurai Girls is that our typical main harem lead can transform girls into master samurai by kissing them. So, not exactly the most original of concepts, but it's brilliantly executed with excellent satisfying results. Set in an alternative future of Japan where old traditions mix with modern technology, you find yourself entranced without difficulty by the captivating world that it fabricates. The unique artwork is also of note because of its distinctive style and stunning amount of great detail. Samurai Girls truly gives you an uncommon experience that you won't find with many other shows. Heaven's Lost Property, the downfall of our main protagonist Tomoki's peaceful and quiet life. Heaven's Lost Property can be best summed up with flying panties, angeloids of all shapes and sizes, and karate chops that defy every possible law of physics. It's this over-the-top comedy combined with great art and characters that make a great show. It relies on wonderfully done natural character development, resulting in both a touching story and great ecchi and comedy moments that keep the viewer entertained. Set in the near future, the story revolves around powered exoskeletons called Infinite Stratos, an advanced piece of technology that is more powerful than any other existing weaponry, but they can only be operated by girls. Because of this, society in the world has to adapt so that females are now the ones in authority. But all of that changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Whoops, wrong line, let me try that again. But all of that changed when our protagonist Ichika is found to be the only male in the world with the ability to pilot the machines. He is then forced to attend the prestigious Infinite Stratos Academy for his own protection, and now he must take on the harem route without any saves. Is This a Zombie? An anime that is based off its own complete outrageousness. With numerous wild and crazy concepts crammed into one anime, it still somehow manages to tie it all into a very neat comical package. It seamlessly incorporates all its content into a coherent and flowing story that repeatedly blows you away with its absolute ridiculousness. Is This a Zombie? Is one of the most hysterical anime in creation and deserves to be watched by every anime fan. High School DxD, the most plot-driven ecchi show that actually manages to deliver a compelling and interesting story that makes you stick around for something other than the boobies. Yeah, right. With a unique story where our main character Issei is murdered and then later reincarnated as a devil by his beautiful upperclassmen, he now fights an almost unwinnable battle to have his own harem and defeat angels that wish to destroy him and his clan. A plot-driven show that keeps you glued to the screen. Ah, who the fuck am I kidding? Tits!